So everybody, welcome back. It's certainly a pleasure to introduce our next speaker as well. This is Nicki Tiffin, and Nicki Tiffin chairs the Ethics and Data Sharing Working Group of PHA4GE. Nicki's appointment is within the Computational Biology Division at the University of Cape Town, where she is an associate professor in the data integration, as part of the data integration platform of the CIDRA Africa program. Nicki, I'm going to hand over to you. And just to remind the audience that the format of the next session will be a presentation by Nicki, followed by a panel discussion. Thank you, Nicki.
Thank you. Let me just share my screen. There we go. Great. Thanks so much. Thanks for the introduction, Alan, and it's great to see everyone here. So I'm going to present to you some of the work that we've been doing in the Ethics and Data Sharing Working Group. We've entitled the talk, Building a Community of Practice through the PHA4GE Ethics and Data Sharing online platform. And of course, I'm presenting on behalf of everyone in this working group. So the aim or the vision of the Ethics and Data Sharing Working Group is to establish, facilitate and support an inclusive, diverse, equitable and collaborative ethics community. So we want to promote ethics research and develop ethics training, but we also want to increase our capacity for having informed, practical and agile solutions in the ethics and governance space. So data sharing, data governance, sharing biospecimens, they all fall into this space. And I particularly want to flag that we really wanted to make sure that the work we do is around an inclusive and diverse, equitable and collaborative ethics community. So we wanted to make sure that our work is inviting to everyone, that it doesn't feel like only certain people can participate or that people who are interested are going to struggle to have a voice. So I really hope that we can convince you that, that we've opened that space successfully. So what we realized is that most of us, and we discussed this quite a bit, most of us are what I would call applied ethicists. We don't have formal ethics training. We're not dedicated bioethicists. We're actually often more data-driven or biospecimen-driven researchers who are trying our best to undertake our research or to promote research, but to do it in a way that's ethical, upholds ethical principles. To make sure that our data sharing is done in the most ethically suitable way. So we need practical and applied solutions. And this is what we decided in the working group, that we really wanted to make sure what we produce from this working group is stuff that can be used and that is easy to use and can be relied on to make sure we're ethically compliant without us having to be the bioethicists necessarily. So we discussed whether we need more guidelines and recommendations, and we realized that there really are quite a lot of guidelines and recommendations out there. There are a lot of different working groups that have done great work in this space. And if we were to do guidelines and recommendations in the working group, we're not quite sure how we prioritize where we should start, what would be the most important, who would decide what's the most important. And the more we discuss these kind of things, the more we've realized that what we really want to do is to build what we've called a community of practice. So we work out what the current issues are by engaging with a community of people working in the field who are struggling with certain things. And that way we can find out where we need to direct our efforts from the people who are actually on the ground trying to do research in an ethical way. And then if we can organically identify these kind of current issues that are surfacing in a kind of bottom-up problem-solving way, then we can also organically develop solutions that are appropriate, that are practical, and that can actually work effectively for the people who need to use them. The other thing that we've noticed a lot, there are a lot of really great working groups in the kind of LC space, the data sharing space, governance space, but we're not very good at talking to each other outside these specific silos for each of the working groups. And in fact, just to add one of which I won't be talking about further here, But one of our plans is to actually try and convene a meeting of working groups in the LC space to start to work at talking across the different working groups and sharing our wider network of skills and knowledge. But we also wanted to develop something within our working group space that can really help to promote the conversation in this wider network of people who have skills and knowledge. And we have such varied skills and knowledge. We have the pathogen space, human genomics space. We have, kind of building data tools, people who work in health informatics and work with electronic health records. And all of these bring a different lens onto the ethics and data sharing issues that are coming up. So the question is, how are we going to bring this all together, and how are we going to learn from each other and build a collective approach and a collective solution to doing better ethical research and better ethical data sharing with kind of manageable solutions that are easy to follow and easy to implement. So we came up with a plan to build the PHA4GE ethics and data sharing platform. So this is a simple browser-based online discussion platform. There's nothing elaborate or complicated about it. You don't need to download any apps. You won't be bombarded by notifications. It's kind of a discussion forum in a fairly vanilla discussion forum kind of structure. But the idea is that it'll be open to everyone who's interested in anything to do with ethics and data sharing. And it's now live, the platform is live, so you're very welcome to log in and have a look. Hopefully not everyone will log in at exactly the same moment and put us under our first ethics and data sharing platform stress. But we decided that it would be open to everyone, but we would request people to create accounts to participate, and this is just and to identify ourselves as members. And this is also to help with building the community of practice, where we all know who we're discussing with, who we're talking to, who we're sharing ideas with, and then obviously, of course, just to protect us a little bit from floods of trolling from the outside world who aren't really interested in ethics and data sharing. So the aim of the forum is that it's a space to discuss and problem solve current ethics and data sharing challenges, and to share opportunities, to collaborate, to build collaborations, and to kind of break down the silos. So there's no hierarchy. If you have an idea, you can get on the platform and put it out there. You don't have to be, a chair of a working group or in a specific kind of organization in order to be able to get talking about these things that we're all concerned about in the ethics and data sharing space. And it also recognizes that we're not all bioethicists. Some of us are researchers just looking for solutions to particular problems that we have at hand. So this is kind of the landing page for the platform. Don't worry too much about the very small print, which I can imagine is not so great on some of your Zoom screens. But of course, if you go to the platform, you'll be able to see these different kind of topics that are here. There's an open discussion. So this is like a very typical landing page. You can click on the little logo that says ethics and data sharing community, and that will always bring you back to this landing page. And we have different categories. They couldn't all fit on my screen grab, but I'll just talk you through some of the interesting ones that we have. So the ethics and data sharing category, if you click on that, this is where we envisage most of the discussions and the research collaborations taking place. And it's also a place where if you have a question, burning question, you can put it out there and see what the ethics and data sharing community have to say about it and start some kind of discussion. So to go to that space, you literally just click on the category on the landing page, and you'll go in and you can see these different threads. So as a working group, we've all got some projects that we would love to see implemented, and we maybe haven't had the time or the right teams to do it. So we've pre-populated some of these just to get us going, and because we'd love to see the work done. So you can participate in an existing thread. You can just click on the thread and it'll take you through to a detail of what that thread is about and who's asking what. And then within the thread, you can reply and get involved in a discussion. So some of these are discussions, which are just general, let's talk about this. I've posted a couple and we'll come to more details. There's a systematic review I'd love to see written, some more kind of meaty projects. So it's really open to you. Do you just want to ask a question, or do you want to build a like 3-year collaboration that's going to keep you all busy for a long time? If you have something new, then you can start a new conversation, and that will build a thread here that you'll become the owner of. So please, everyone, we're inviting you to start something new. Jump in if you've got a burning ethics or data sharing question and you'd like to build it into a discussion or a project or something like that. Here's your opportunity to start a new conversation in the ethics and data sharing space here. We also have, as one of our categories, a section on funding. So this is where you can post information about funding opportunities that maybe your organization is offering, or that you know about, or you maybe would like to just share with everyone. But we also will put some information here about funding opportunities that become available through PHA4GE. And we have some PHA4GE small grants available that we have just recently posted on here. So I invite you all to have a look at that call. You can also, so this is what it looks like. You can click on the funding and come through to this particular thread. And here we've posted all the information about these small grants. So the small grants are for short-term projects that are low cost. And there are all sorts of suggestions here, what kind of projects. Maybe you want to write a systematic review or scoping paper, and you want to reimburse your colleagues who spend time on this, or you want to build a framework or run an online workshop. So please do have a look. There's a link to the application form. It's not too onerous at all. We made sure it was quite short and sweet. And to the point. So we're hoping to get some great applications from you all through this space here. We've also got some other categories. If you've read an interesting paper, post a link to it here and we can have a discussion around it. New publications that you've got out that you'd like to share with everyone. There's a training and courses section, and in fact there is already a post in the training and courses section for a training opportunity that's become available. So you can offer training, you can collaborate together, put a team together when you want to produce some training, but you can also put a call out there if there's some kind of training that you desperately need and you would like to see that training happen. This is a space to see if other people agree with you and to refine exactly what you're asking for. And then, as you heard in the earlier talk from Nicki, that we can discuss how we can fulfill training needs as they go, and there may be other people who are also posting who can offer the kind of trainings that you're looking for. And then we know also a lot of researchers who have to do IRB applications can get really caught up in those, and they can be quite tricky. So we made a special space here. If you have a question about your application, or you got stuck, or you don't know how to take it forward, or you don't know how to approach your ethics applications for your review board, you can actually put a question out to the community here and see if you can get some advice from the general ethics community and get some helpful hints. And then obviously any specific PHA4GE announcements and projects, we also have a space where we'll post them. So I just want to recognize that the team, we're quite a small team still, but we're hoping through activities on the platform that we'll be able to encourage more of you, people who are very interested and active, may want to get more involved in the working group. So I'm the chair, my co-chair is Anya Badeka, and these are our current active members. And then I'd also just like to thank the PHA4GE Secretariat who've been supporting the working group, and particularly Alicia Naidu, who's been really helping keep us on track, and Jamie Southgate, who's done tremendous work in putting together the forum for us and helping us with all the documentation behind that. And then also just to recognize that the PHA4GE Ethics and Data Sharing online platform was created using funds from the PHA4GE funding provided by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.